the median age of home buyers in the US is 56 years old. This is not geopolitics, although in a way it's downstream of geopolitics. That's quite old. I mean, that's like...
It's up a lot from, I think the article said, what, like 46 in like 2021? Like, it's up a lot. Or
yeah. So it's like, I already knew that as a millennial, and certainly as Gen Z, like, you're kind of fucked. Like, especially if you had built a career in the federal workforce. And so, like, you probably, chances are, if you're the average younger gen person, you cannot afford a home. But this, like, I hadn't seen numbers that suggest who is affording homes, who is buying homes. And, like, that's old as fuck. 56?
Yeah.
Everyone below 56 is unlikely to be getting a home. That's crazy. That's a busted economy.
Yeah, no, it's extremely depressing. I'd love to see, like, just like the discourse around like sexual politics and like the kind of extension of adolescence, which people love to talk about when shitting on Gen Z and even millennials. The markers of growing up are no longer accessible. So yeah, like, you might be 33 and have 5 roommates. Like, that's like not weird. Or 5, that's a lot, but like a few roommates. It's not weird. It's just life.
And that's a totally different mode of living from the generation above you, Totally different.
A couple of kids in a house by like 30. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a slight tangent, but I feel like this is I captured something really well that I just want to read out this quote that I found. There's a journalist named Liz Plank who has a very interesting Substack, and she brands herself as a feminist who loves men. A piece out like yesterday. Okay, millennials haven't become more conservative with age. Decades of political science research showing that people naturally drifted rightward as they got older, that financial stability and home ownership and family building would inevitably transform the youth vote into the Republican base. But millennials never got the financial stability. We never got the home ownership. And we watched institutions fail us so thoroughly that we have remained, on the whole, progressive. This makes us a generation that has not shifted rightward. And maybe that's why, because we've watched neoliberalism fail in real time. Despite everything we've lost, we refuse to lose our belief that things can change for the better. If anything, we've radicalized. We realized we were raised on hope and change. And unlike the generations before us, we never stopped believing that progress isn't just possible, it's necessary. And that plus the Iraq War, I mean, that's pretty much it, Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, totally. Like, nothing radicalizes like crazy student debt, war, and not being able to buy a house, and then being like just shit on incessantly as like the cringe generation. Yeah, no, it's totally true. And like there was like the millennial bashing like is also like, in my view, what I've seen of it is very much like, oh, like they won't grow up. And I actually think that there's like a workforce issue here too, where like you don't have traditional markers of adulthood, and it's also really hard to make it to like the middle, like, I don't want to say middle management necessary, but sort of like mid-range, like career positions, like especially in sort of my field and like nonprofit world in DC. Obviously not the case everywhere, but like there's like early career, and then there's like you're well into your 40s and 50s, you direct a program, like the middle range.
There's a big gap, there's a ceiling.
There's a huge gap. And I don't think it's just like this industry. I think it's probably more prevalent than that. So it's like you don't get the career opportunity, and you don't get the traditional like things that you might achieve in like sort of middle adulthood, or like, by the time you're 30, you're like a 12-year-old adult, essentially. People expect to like, or traditionally people had things like a house by then, so.
People used to have things.
People used to have things, it turns out.